Hello, everyone. We are the Canadian Disney family coming to you live from home. We are doing our first home vlog and our first question and answer type live stream. We are so excited for this because we never really did it before. And we love talking about Disney. So this is perfect. This is right up our alley for us. And we want to help you. We always get asked questions about Walt Disney World, about our experience, about our history with Walt Disney World, our trips with Walt Disney World. So we wanted to help all of you with any tips or tricks that we may have. We want to share with all of you because we want you all to have the best experience as well while booking your trip, or any tips and tricks that we may have. And we're also here to answer your questions. So any questions that you may have about booking any trips or Walt Disney World, even Disney with kids or before we had littles, we want to answer all of that. But we want to welcome in everybody first. So welcome in, Sipin. So nice to see you, friends. How are you? Thank you for waiting for the stream. Welcome in, Nicole, and thank you so much for joining our channel. We really appreciate it. A special thank you to our channel members, Kay Wilby, Canadian Vasily, Randy Ruck, Littlest Stormtrooper, Bell GC, Daniel Bell, Nicole Crahan, and TC. Thank you all so much for joining. We truly appreciate it. Welcome in, Randy. Oh, no, not planning. Just want to help people who want to plan to go there to Disney World. We do get asked quite a bit about how to plan from people from all over the world, not just Canadians, about how to plan your trip to Walt Disney World. So we just wanted to give our tips and tricks of going there. But thank you so much, Randy Rock, for joining in. How has your weekend been? Happy Sunday, friends. Thank you, Stephen, for being here. Hope that you had a wonderful weekend. Welcome in, Belle. How are you? Hope that everyone had a great weekend. Weekends always fly by so fast. Let us know how it was. At least on Friday, we had that really warm day. And thank you all for watching, and Randy for watching our video yesterday of Little Canada, where we saw it transition from daytime to nighttime. It's really cool. It's located actually right at the base of Eaton Center. We have another video coming up about it. I believe tomorrow it's going to be posted, hopefully as a premiere as well, because we always love chatting with all of you and spending time with all of you. But that is located at the bottom of Eaton Center, and it's really cool. It's just a miniature version of Canada, and I always love the displays and all of the details that they put. Is really, really, really well done. So super, super awesome to see. Oh, so happy to hear, Stephen, that you had a nice weekend. Hopefully you're enjoying your time off from streaming. Stephen TTC Explorer is another live streamer from Toronto, another Canadian live streamer. So check him out, Stephen TTC Explorer as well. Oh, so happy to hear they had a great weekend, Nicole and Belle. So happy to hear that you all had a great weekend. So our first kind of tip, I guess, of booking any type of trip, actually, before even getting into Walt Disney World, is actually using, a lot of people don't know about this website. And again, nothing is sponsored. We don't have any sponsors or promotions to promote any of these. It's just our genuine tips and tricks about booking your vacation. But we actually use this website, which is Skyscanner, and we're actually always surprised how many friends do not know about this website, Skyscanner. It is super duper cool and very useful for regardless of where you're flying to or where you're going into the world. And it doesn't cost any more to use this website. They don't take any portion of it. It's just literally all for information, which is super duper cool. Hey, Canadian Vasily, how are you? So nice to see you, my friend. Happy to have ran into Canadian Vasily the last time I was at Wonderland, the day that it closed when we did our live stream. So hope that you're enjoying your break from live streaming as well. Destination Travels is another Canadian live streamer. Anywhere you go, just book with Hilton. Hilton is Canadian Vasily's go to. I understand that, especially when booking trips. I feel like you always go to what you're comfortable with. And I completely hear that and completely understand that because you know that you're going to have a good time. You know what to expect. You know all about it. So I completely hear that when you book kind of where you've already been. Hilton is very good around the world. So that's awesome. Ooh, from Elmville today, making some videos. Can't wait to see Elmville. That's awesome. Getting really happy that you're out there making some adventures. Welcome in, DNA Dad. Oh, so Belle has used Skyscanner. That's awesome. Because a lot of people, that we talk to, they don't know about this website. So I just wanted to show it again. No sponsors. It's just our genuine tips and tricks that have worked for us. So so again, we're going to pick from Toronto. And again, there's obviously the different airports. We're going to click YYZ, so the Pearson, and see. So what's really, really cool, I lost it, but about this. So right now it's set to Orlando, but again, you can pick where you want to fly into. Let's just pick MCO, which is the airport that you would use to fly into Disney World. That's the Orlando International Airport. And then this is really cool. This is my favorite feature about it. It actually shows, so the red is basically a no. Red, we want to avoid the red. The red is a stop. So the red is the most expensive days to fly from Toronto to Orlando. And we're just using those two as an example right now just because of Disney World. But if you want to fly there, I suggest obviously to not really fly on the red days, but really cool. So you want to look for this greenish blue type of circle, and that actually is the less expensive days to fly from Toronto to Orlando. So right now, actually in January, it's pretty expensive to fly to Disney. Obviously today would probably be very expensive to fly the same day, but so tomorrow you can get some last minute deals tomorrow to fly there if you like. Oh, yes. I think red would be a no if that's the case. So we always want to look for the most cost effective ways. That's kind of a big tip to booking anywhere, regardless of Disney World or not. How expensive is all the merch in Disneyland? Oh, good question. So Disneyland is in California. So that's in Anaheim. That's the original Disney that Walt Disney himself made. So that's Disneyland. Disney World is in Orlando. The merch, it actually varies. Kind of looking for what you want. I actually don't find it compared to you're paying for like the Disney name and the merch. It actually is comparable. The problem is that because of the currency exchange from American to Canadian, that's kind of what gets you. But for example, let's just say a shirt, like the Walt Disney World's basic shirt, you're looking at about $24.99 to $29.99, which is kind of what we would pay for a shirt here, if you think about it, right? Like a fancier shirt would be $24.99. It's what gets you is kind of the exchange rate. But again, so let's just say, so the yellow is not too bad actually, because there's Family Day in February, as we can see. Yeah, so 25 USD you're looking at for, let's just say, like a basic Walt Disney World shirt, like a t-shirt. That's kind of what you're looking at. It ranges from about $25.99 to $29.99. The keychains, they also have, for example, different levels, like the classic souvenirs. You can get like the cheaper ones, let's just say they probably start at about $9.99, and then you can get obviously the much more elaborate keychains that are a little bit expensive. Yeah, so it actually is pretty good. It's just the problem is the exchange rate. That's kind of where it gets us is the exchange rate. But so because we have Family Day, and I believe there's a holiday in America as well that weekend. Now I can't remember, but even Valentine's Day. So that weekend, as you can see, flying from Toronto, because we have this weekend off in Toronto, obviously you can see very expensive. But if you leave on Sunday or Monday, you could go there. But okay, let's just say I want to try to find like a week. Let's just say, okay, so let's just say we're gonna look for the cheapest dates possible. Yeah, see, the Disney trademark would make the prices higher, you would think. Obviously, there is merch there that is very expensive. I'm just saying kind of like the most, like, very common, like, merch that you would look for, maybe as souvenirs, like a t-shirt or a keychain or a little stuffy or a toy to bring back from Walt Disney World. I don't find the prices outrageous before the exchange rate. I would say obviously there is a very more elaborate sweaters or the blinged out kind of t-shirts. There again, you can spend a lot more money for sure. What if it's personalized? Oh, say Mickey. That personalization actually kind of varies in Disney World. Disney World, you could get ornaments or those pins. Oh, I wish I had one of my pins here. Pins, actually, the customization is free. The cast members will customize it for you, or you can pay, for example, the ornaments. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, is $5 extra for personalizations of like Disney World ornaments. I don't know if you could stitch anything on the spot. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool, Bino. But welcome in, Bino. Yes. You're going to be in the falls on Friday. Have so much fun. Canada side, of course. Since yes, Clifton Hill. We went to Little Canada Canadian Facility on, when was it now? Thursday, I want to say. And they had Clifton Hills, like a miniature version of it at Niagara Falls. And it was amazing. The detail that they put, like, it literally looked like they shrunk Clifton Hills in Niagara Falls. It was super, super cool. If you haven't checked it out, we do have a short of it. It was really, really cool. But hopefully you have fun. Are you going to go to Clifton Hills? Let me know. Okay, so let's pick, for example, let's just say, okay, so let's go for the cheapest days here. So let's pick the 21st to 24th. Oh, I didn't want to look. Okay, 21st to 24th. Why is it doing that? Oh, I think because maybe did I put one way? Yes, I did. I put one way. Okay, so let's change that. Let's put return. And then we're going to depart on one of the cheapest days, which is the 21st. And we're going to return on the 24th. So we're going to go from Saturday to Tuesday, let's just say. Just to make it nice and cheap. I wonder, actually, I'm now curious about March break. Oh, March break actually isn't that bad. The 12th, 13th, 14th. Which is to be expected. That's the most kind of common travel dates here. But actually not that bad. Okay, so let's do a longer duration, let's just say. So let's go in March, and let's go March 21st to the 27th. So almost a week. And we're going to apply it on Skyscanner, and then I'm going to click direct flights. Let us know if you do non-direct flights to Walt Disney World or to anywhere if you do the stopover. I personally have never done, have I? I don't think we've ever done a stopover to Walt Disney World, let's just say, but let's click direct flights, and it's gonna search it for us. Oh, that's awesome! They're for a friend's birthday. Have so much fun. Okay, so this again was just us using Skyscanner. Again, it doesn't cost any more to use Skyscanner. They don't take like a portion of it. They don't. I guess they maybe make their money off of the advertisements, I'm assuming. But yeah, it doesn't cost anymore. So see here, so now they give you the best option and the cheapest. So actually right now that's the same. And then they give you a breakdown of all the different airlines and the different times. So a mix of different times. So right now the cheapest is $174 from WestJet. That's actually really, really good. And how many people did I put? I put 4 travelers because that's how much is in the Canadian Disney family as 4. So for 4 travelers right now, after March break, at $174 per person, which is an amazing price, actually. At WestJet, $515. You get there at about $816, and then you leave Orlando at $910, and to come back at $1209. Wow, that is a really good price. So, as a Disney tips and tricks, that is a very good price to go to Walt Disney World. But again, so that's why it's good to kind of shop around in a sense and look at the different flight options. I'm a very big Expedia fan. I will admit that. I really like Expedia. I just like the layout. I think it's super easy to use. But a little secret from me to you, from my home to yours. I have been on Skyscanner and seen Expedia like it's cheaper on Skyscanner than it is on Expedia. And then when I click it, so for example, Expedia said, let's just say it was $300 per person. I've gone on Skyscanner and seen it $250 per person. And then when you click it, it will still take you to Expedia, but now it will be the Skyscanner price. So that's pretty cool. So again, so here, so let's just say like that's a really good price from Toronto. So this is WestJet. So let's select that. And actually, let me show you first the other option. So Flair is 201. Wow, Flair is more expensive than WestJet. I'm surprised. Porter, Flair Airlines, Porter, WestJet. So then they show you mixes too. So this one, you will leave with Porter and then come back with WestJet. WestJet also 176. Porter, Air Canada. There's the famous airline from Toronto. Wow, so Air Canada is coming in at $347 per person, but it will show here. So $347, and then it will go there. So $8.15 to $11.15, and then $10.20 to $1.15. So then you leave. You kind of get the full day there. And then 6 to 9, 10 to 20. So again, this is just as an example. So you can use this to go anywhere in the world, not just the United States, anywhere in the world. You can use the Skyscanner. So, all right. So let's just say, for example, so I just want to show you how the Skyscanner kind of works here. So let's click WestJet. So we click select, and let's see there. All right. All right. So see the here. So Skyscanner never takes a cut. At Skyscanner, we search 500 plus sites to find the best fares without ever adding any cost to you. So again, it doesn't take any cut of adding it. So here, so then it shows you the different ways you can book. I never use Skyscanner, to be honest. I kind of like doing the deal hunting. Yes, see, like, yeah, a lot of people have never used Skyscanner, which I usually just go straight to Expedia as well. I kind of, again, book through that or Expedia or the actual airline or hotel website. That's true. Canadian Facility. Yep. You just go to the actual website. I hear that. I just am trying to give all the tips and tricks, like kind of for the cheapest way possible. But I hear that some people are just more comfortable with booking directly with the airline or the hotel. The good thing also though with Skyscanner is it actually allows you also to book right to the airline, for example. So here, like here's WestJet. Actually, WestJet does not have a good rating, unfortunately. It says 1.6 on here. But see, so I can book with the actual airline itself using Skyscanner. So let's just show that. So I'm going to click select, and then it's going to redirect me actually to WestJet for me to book there with that exact price. So I think it was 218, if I remember correctly, or 216. And then it will show that. So you're booking right with WestJet. Like you're not booking with Skyscanner. You are booking with WestJet directly. So that's like pretty cool. And then so see there, let's book that. And then you can also choose a different fare, let's just say. But see, like super cool website. I only discovered it actually a few years ago. It was recommended to us, and I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. So WestJet, I'm trying to actually go back here. Okay, so again, you can book to WestJet, and then let's just say Expedia. So Expedia is my favorite. Okay, so it says 218, and then let's select Porter is a great airline to take within Canada. Oh, good recommendation, Canadian Facility. We have heard a lot about Porter, but we have never flown with them. Have you flown with them before? We've actually heard really good things about it, but never have tried it. So see, so now it takes you directly to Expedia, and then you would book with Expedia now directly. You're not booking with like Skyscanner, you're booking now directly with Expedia with the exact price that you saw. So now actually it says 281, not 218. Someone's a little bit sneaky. And then your total again, 870. And then you can also still on Expedia compare different similar flights. So it just takes you to the website. So it's a pretty cool tip to anybody around the world that is using, and see how was your booking experience, and then you just do that. And then you rate it. So anybody going anywhere around the world, that doesn't have to be the United States, doesn't have to be Disney World, anywhere in the world, if you want to use Skyscanner, I suggest you use Skyscanner. So that's just a little tip for us. Oh, a lot of your friends use Porter. Yes, Porter to Montreal. I think Porter also flies to Orlando. I'm not 100% sure. I've only taken it once to Boston. Oh, so they do short local flights out of Billy Bishop, so you get to skip the Pearson chaos. Yes. A lot of people actually prefer to fly from Billy Bishop. I've never flown from Billy Bishop before, but it looks like such a cool experience from flying kind of from the island there. So really, really cool. So again, a lot of people have asked us about booking to, or does anybody have any other flights or flight options, maybe cheap flight options to find cheap flights? Anybody there? But let us know. Let us know if you have used Skyscanner before or if you haven't. Ooh, 5 minutes away from Pearson. You're lucky, Canadian Pacific. That's a very short, short distance away. So that's super cool. So again, we are big fans of Expedia. So that's also what I recommend of booking to, let's just say in particular, Walt Disney World is Expedia. You can use that. So what a lot of people actually don't know about Walt Disney World's booking is that you don't book together, for example. So your package, you have to book the flight separately than the actual resort. So it is two different things. Or there is something called Disney affiliate hotels. So those aren't the resorts, but they're Disney's Good Neighbor hotels. So they're located right next to Disney Springs in Orlando. So Disney Springs is kind of the attraction central, the dining entertainment central of Walt Disney World, where you'll find all of the restaurants, a lot of shopping, different type of entertainment for free. So it's not a park. Anybody can go to it. You don't have to have a park ticket. You don't have to have any type of Walt Disney World reservation. Locals can go there. Anybody can go to Disney Springs at Walt Disney World. And then there's a street kind of right next to it that all the Disney affiliate hotels are located. So that you will find on Expedia mostly. You rarely find the Walt Disney World resorts anymore, but let's see if we'll be lucky to find it. Let's just see. So again, Expedia, we recommend Expedia for actually booking. So let's just again see. So YYZ going to Orlando. And okay, let's try to remember those dates. Let's just say, so I think it was the 21st to 27th. I'm going to use the same days. Let's just pick two travelers for now, and then we got packages, so let's search. Oh, good question. What's the difference between Disney resorts and Disney affiliate hotels? That's a really good question. Thank you so much for asking that. So yes, so the big difference, there's a lot of differences actually about those. There's pros and cons of both. So the hotels are a little bit cheaper than the resorts. Can we change flights from Toronto to Mexico for April? For Skyscanner, Vasily, or for Expedia? Let me know. I'll go back to Skyscanner. So the Disney hotels are much cheaper, or significantly cheaper than the resorts, the Disney World resorts. You can also get them as a package as well, so including flight. So that's what we're kind of looking for right now. So when booking, oh, speaking of Hilton, Canadian facility, this is for you. So Hilton Orlando, Buena Vista Palace. So that's what that street is called, is Lake Buena Vista. So you kind of want to look for that in the title, or it will say Disney Springs area. So you kind of also want to look for that as well. Or you want to look for Good Neighbor Hotel. I want to see if they have a picture of it to see. Okay, so this would be a package. So this includes flights and stay, and this is $975 a person. But for example, the Skyscanner, going back to that flight, you would just pay for the flight when going to the resorts. There's not really a package deal of booking the flight and the resort all in one package. Whereas the hotels, you can book it all in one package. So this is the Hilton. So that's $975 a person. So the total would be almost $2,000 for two people. That's a little bit more expensive, a little bit more pricey. They also will show you Universal, but I want to show you more of the Disney. Universal is good too, but let's see if we can find another Disney one. So these are not all Disney. There's Universal. Universal's. Let us know if there's any Universal fans too. Okay, so then see here, Lake Buena Vista Resort Village and Spa. So you kind of want to look for that name as well. Wow, there's not really a lot right now. Sorry if I'm going so fast. So this one also, so see how this one says Lake Buena Vista here. You want to look for that. $694 a person, not bad. And that's like the package deal there. And then, okay, so here. So we have stayed here actually before. So the Wyndham Garden, the Lake Buena Vista, the Disney Springs area. So again, you want to look for that in the title of Disney Springs area. And then that one's actually, wow, that's $943 a person. That's actually kind of pricey for that time. Usually this is about $600 a person. So it's kind of pricier actually for that time. But again, so this is the flight and the stay together. Okay, so that's kind of the difference with the hotels, is the hotel, you were on property but off property at the same time. You were in the Walt Disney World bubble, as you have Disney Springs right there. There are free shuttles to most of those hotels to the parks. However, they're a little bit different because some of them, they require you to actually reserve a spot on those shuttles. And the shuttles don't run as frequently as the Walt Disney World transportation. You're just limited to the buses. So no access to, for example, the Disney Skyliner or the monorail. You're just relying on those buses, and those buses kind of have a cutoff time. So if you're looking at staying at Walt Disney World, for example, if you're going to go to Magic Kingdom, let's just say on the extended hours night where the park is open until 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, you're probably not going to luck out getting on one of those buses. You're probably going to have to take an Uber back to your hotel, whereas the Walt Disney World Resort buses will run all the time. So that's kind of the difference also there. Again, they don't really have it's a kind of like your typical hotel type of situation. Again, very nicely set up, but your typical hotel, whereas the resort, it's an actual resort. These ones, you have kind of quick service, maybe a quick continental breakfast in the morning. You don't really have options for lunch unless there's just one standard type of restaurant there. There's no like Disney Resort mugs or anything like that. But, oh, you've been to both, and definitely prefer the Disney resorts. Yes, I guess us too, we would prefer the Disney resorts. But if you're going to Disney World for a short stay, or for example, if you're just going for the parks and you're not going to get to experience the resort as much, the hotels are very good options. The monorail doesn't run to the Hilton. No, unfortunately, the monorail does not run to the Hilton. So the monorail at Walt Disney World actually only runs to certain resorts, not all the resorts, and those are the top resorts at Walt Disney World that they run to. So the monorail runs to the Polynesian, the Contemporary, and the Grand Floridian, which is located right next to Magic Kingdom. And it goes to Epcot. But those are kind of the main monorail resorts. Actually, it kind of goes to 3 of them. But okay, so Skyscanner, you want to look for Mexico on Skyscanner if you can in April. Okay, let's do that. So we get to go back. So we're kind of going back to Skyscanner for Canadian facilities. So again, we do recommend using Skyscanner for the best flight deal. So Toronto Pearson National Airport, and let's put Mexico. Am I putting Mexico City, a Canadian facility? What would you like me to put? Let's put Mexico City, any. And then 1,005. Okay, so April. Oh, April right now isn't really loaded as much. I'm surprised. So there's some dates that actually are still blue. The 24th is red. So that's to keep in mind. Yep, so I put Mexico City. Is there any dates that you have in mind right now for April? So right now, the 2nd, the 7th, the 8th. Those are kind of the cheaper ones, is the Tuesdays and the Thursdays right now of leaving Canadian facility. Let's just see. There's any particular dates that you would like. Let's put, since the 7th is coming up, let's put the 7th and 14th for a week. Let's just say leaving on the Tuesdays. 13th to 16th. Okay, perfect. I'm going to change the children. I'm going to put 2 adults, if that's okay. And then let's do the 13th. Just click on. So 13th right now is yellow there. The 13th to 16th is short and sweet trip, but better than nothing, right? Okay, so let's compare. 1,500 you said. Was that just for the flight? Wow, yeah, the flights are pretty expensive. I'm surprised. So right now, this one, the Avianca, I believe it is. Oh, but there's 2 stops. Oh, that's still 1,095. So you want to look here for the stops. So see how this one says 2 stops? If you want to look for the direct flight, you're going to look for the word direct here. Oh, it went down a bit. Maybe you have to go and book now. Air Canada has it. WestJet mixed with Air Canada here. This one's 1,500, the WestJet and Air Canada. But see, it's really cool how, see, it gives you all of the different times and how long it's going to take. And then it gives you the combination. Pretty cool. There you go, Canadian facility. So yeah, so back to booking the hotels. So you're going to use Expedia for your Disney hotels. So if you want to book, again, to stay on property, if you want to save a little bit of money, if you're not going to get to experience the actual resort, that's when I would recommend just using the hotels and using their shuttle service. Just be mindful if you're planning on getting back a little late. Just check with the front desk of what their shuttle service schedule is. One of the hotels that we recommend, actually that we've never been to, but we heard amazing things about, is the Drury, because it actually comes with free breakfast throughout your entire stay. It is a new one that was built. We actually saw it being built years ago, but it actually also includes breakfast, which is super cool. So again, these are the hotels. So you're technically on property, technically not. So you're going to use Expedia. Our tip or trick is to use Expedia to book those hotels. And again, you're going to look for the keyword Lake Buena Vista or Disney Springs area, and that's going to be closest to the parks. We've seen it with the Windham Garden. It was actually pretty good. But see, I haven't seen any Walt Disney World resorts. Sometimes you can find them, rarely now, to see it. Yeah, I think hotel will be additional. Yeah, that's very expensive just for the flight to Mexico. Wow. So again, so now if you want to book the resort to go to Walt Disney World, so again, so the hotels, you get a package deal of your hotel stay and your flight to go to Walt Disney World. So those are hotels. If you're staying at a resort, a Walt Disney World resort, you're going to book the flight separately, and then you're going to book the resort separately. So to book the resort, My Disney Experience is going to be your best friend. My Disney Experience is an app, a Walt Disney World app that you can get on your phone. And then this is the website of it. That is going to be your best friend to book the trip, to book your resort trip, and anything on your actual resort. So if you're looking as a first-time Disney goer, you are going to download My Disney Experience. There is 2 different versions. So if you're going to Disneyland, which is located in California, there's actually a different My Disney Experience app for that. And then My Disney Experience app for Walt Disney World. So right now we're looking at World, which is in Orlando. So these are the resort, they call it resort hotels, but they're the resorts. So a difference here. So right now, actually, there's a Canadian residence discount here where you save up to 25% actually on the news right now. All destinations. Yes, that's true. So, Canadian Vasily, just so you know, the what's it called? The flight that we looked at from Mexico, that was just including. That was just for your flight, not for the resort. Oh, thank you so much, Canadian Vasily, for joining back to the cousin crew. You're always so sweet. Thank you so much, Canadian Vasily. So yeah, that was just including the flight, which sounds a little bit expensive, right? But thank you so much for being our channel member. We truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. As our channel does have a membership, 2 different levels, but it's just free for you to watch or free just for you to pop that like button. So thank you so much. So these are the resorts. So there are, yikes, yeah, I know the prices. That seems quite, maybe if you have different dates, you can go. Maybe look at different dates, because the Tuesday or the 13th that you selected was yellow. So there was another date that was green. So maybe if you want to look at that on Skyscanner just to see. See, that's why I like comparing, because I know the hotel. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's very expensive. So for the resorts, so My Disney Experience or disneyworld.disneygo.com, that's where you're going to find the resorts. So we're going to explore which is right. So let's pick... So let's just kind of scroll through right now. So Disney's Old Key West Resort. So again, these are the resort styles. Animal Kingdom Lodge. And then you'll see the price. So this is the Canadian residence discount on the right. Oh, good question about booking through DVC. So DVC is Disney Vacation Club. Disney Vacation Club is kind of like almost like a timeshare for Disney World in a sense. There are websites that you can book through DVC. I personally have never done it, but I know that a lot of Disney live streamers, they recommend, I think it's David's DVC Rentals and Mickey's Travels are the 2 popular ones, where they are people who own, from what I understand, they own the DVC and then you can rent from them. But unfortunately, I don't know too much beyond that. But I know that you can rent the DVC. There's so much to Disney World. There's so many layers. There's so many times people are like, oh, they'll message or they'll ask like, oh, I want to book a trip to next week. I was like, have you been there before? That's kind of my first question, because there's so much to do. You definitely could book a last minute trip to Walt Disney World, but if you want to experience it to the fullest, because there is so much that goes into it, that's why people recommend kind of to do the research. So if you ever want to ask us any type of questions, so I was like, you know what, let me do the live stream today to see if anybody does have any questions, or how I'm answering people's questions, friends' questions who have messaged me asking me these questions of how I booked the flight and the differences between the hotels and resorts. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on this stream, is finding the cheapest flights, which I did, and then the difference now between Disney hotels, staying off of property, and then staying on property. So the hotels are on property, and then this is for the resorts. Oh, thank you so much, Canadian Vasily. Thank you for the nice words and the kind words. It means a lot to my heart. Cool idea for a stream. Thank you. I thought it's a little bit different, a little bit more personal. You know, usually when I'm just walking around, I'm kind of focused on the scenery and trying to be your own personal little tour guide. So this is your own personal travel guide. But again, so many people have asked me questions, and I have sent so many voice notes about it that I'm like, let me just make a video or a live stream, and then I can send them the live stream of like, here's the best tips. So trying to answer all of the friends' questions that have asked me about this. Was it just best suggestion for best family theme park and the best adult geared theme park. Ooh, so that's good. So now we're getting into the theme parks. Okay, so a little bit pausing the resorts for a second. Great question. So there are 4 theme parks in Walt Disney World. So again, in Orlando, there's Magic Kingdom, where it has the castle, the famous Cinderella castle, and that's where you're gonna find your famous Disney rides. So the Little Mermaid, Peter Pan, all the princess and prince rides. Welcome in, EP. How are you? We're just giving some tips and tricks right now of traveling to Walt Disney World and just traveling in general. So there's Magic Kingdom. There is Epcot, which is the big white golf ball looking park as the icon of the park. There's Animal Kingdom, which is a Tree of Life. And again, that is all based on animals, and actually is Walt Disney World's largest park because of their safari ride, which is Kilimanjaro Safaris. And it is a legit safari. You feel like you are actually in the jungle exploring with the animals. It's like African Lion Safari in Canada, but times 20. And then there is Hollywood Studios, where you're going to find Toy Story Land, you're going to find Star Wars, you're going to find Rock and Roller Coaster, and then you're going to find the new Monsters, Inc. So those are the 4 parks of Walt Disney World. And then the question of the chat is, the best family theme park would be Magic Kingdom with the castle, because the littles, us having an 18-month-old and a 5-year-old, they can go on almost all of the rides there. And it's good again for parents and for children together to go on the rides. That is where you're going to find the best memories together, where you can really go on the rides together. And then the best adult geared theme park. I would say it's a debate actually between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Would be a little bit more adult geared. Epcot is more known for its festivals, so including, and the Epcot is where you're going to find the adult type of drinks. Wink, wink, is where you're going to find there is at Epcot. So that's why kind of it's more adult geared. However, Epcot is actually the second park of the 4 parks that actually the littles can go on the most rides there at Epcot. So Magic Kingdom is first, and then Epcot is second. So that's why I always kind of debate, like, is it adult geared? Because they can actually go on the most rides there. Hollywood Studios, I also find, is a little bit more adult geared because of the ride limitations. There's a lot of more adult rides there, where there is limits to height requirements at Hollywood Studios. So I would say, again, those are kind of my suggestions there. Oh, thank you, Bino. Have a nice change of pace a little bit. So again, these are the resorts, and there's the residence discount here on our rates, and then again, all the different type of resorts, different categories. As you can see, different prices, different resorts offer different things. They are very well themed, just like the theme parks. So they all have different types of theming, different types of vibes, whole different worlds in the different parks. You truly feel like you stepped into different galaxies going to these parks. Saratoga Springs, Wilderness Lodge, a lot of them are available. So Contemporary, that's the one that's located right next to Magic Kingdom, where you can see the monorail actually going through Canadian facilities. So that's the monorail going through. Caribbean Beach, so this actually looks like you are on vacation in the Caribbean. Again, it's themed towards the Caribbean islands as well. Like you can stay in Jamaica or Trinidad and Tobago, and I forget some of the other ones. And then the Grand Floridian, which again, as you can see, the prices differ a lot between the resorts. Also, you can see the Grand Floridian also is one of the monorail resorts. And here's Art of Animation. A lot of people also ask, a lot of friends ask, which resort would you recommend, especially with littles? And I would recommend Disney's Art of Animation. Disney's Art of Animation feels like you're still at the parks. It's very Disney movie themed. You feel like, again, you are at Magic Kingdom all the time. So they have Little Mermaid, my personal favorite, a whole section where you can stay in Little Mermaid. They have larger than life Ariel, Ursula, and King Triton. You get to walk through her underground treasures. They have Cars Land, Finding Nemo, and The Lion King. and they are very well immersed and themed into those. So if you are a big, for example, Lion King fan, that would be your go-to. But this really feels like you're in the park. Some people also ask me, do I have to go to an actual park to enjoy Walt Disney World? And I think no, especially if you stayed at Art of Animation, you definitely can have an amazing time just staying there and feeling like you are at one of the parks. And again, they offer, for example, at the resorts, they offer a little bit more than the hotels. Welcome in, Robert Sprite. How are you? I should have met macaroons. Oh, macaroons at Disney World would be really cool. But thank you so much for joining, Robert Sprite. How are you? We're giving some tips and tricks of traveling to Walt Disney World here. We're kind of basing it on the hotels right now and the flights. So right now we're looking at the resort. So again, just so see how you can compare the prices here. So in the resorts, you're going to get all of the transportation, much better transportation. It's free transportation. You're going to get the buses, or some of them offer the Skyliner. So for example, at Disney's Art of Animation, there is access to the Skyliner. The Skyliner goes to Disney's Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Especially if you're traveling with littles and you have a stroller, the Skyliner is amazing because you do not have to fold your stroller. You just stroll right along onto the Skyliner. You don't have to fold it, don't have to grab all your bags. But the Disney buses, they do come very frequently and again are free and part of your stay at the resort. You do not have to book a shuttle service compared to the hotels. You just go and hop on a bus. And to the $30 fee. Exactly. And yes, in Old Key West, thank you, DNA Dad. Old Key West has great family suites. Art of Animation also has suites as well. So the only theme that's not a suite at Art of Animation is the Little Mermaid rooms. Everything else is a suite. We also have a walkthrough video of one of the suites, the Cars suite, on our YouTube channel if you're interested. We also did a live stream when we were at Art of Animation a few years ago now, of walking around Art of Animation. So if you want to check that out, that is also under our live tab where we do a complete walkthrough during our live stream of Disney's Art of Animation. It was super cool to live stream there. Disney's Port Orleans also heard really good things there. But see, so these are all the different resorts. Again, see how you, like, so this one, you're part of a Disney movie. This one is kind of a bayou type of themed where it looks like you're actually stepped into The Princess and the Frog. And then these ones are actually, wow, these are sold out for then. We've also stayed at Disney's All-Star Sports a lot. I believe 4 times we stayed there. And these are the value resorts. These are the more cost effective. So this would be the cheapest. Actually, they usually range, the most expensive I've ever seen it actually is at $199 per night. But the All-Stars is the cheapest. So they have different All-Stars, All-Star Sports, All-Stars Movies, and All-Star Music. So let's just click All-Star Sports just so we can see again. So all the All-Stars for the resorts. Wow, you're in the queue. A lot of people are booking their Disney trip. So that's Space Mountain. That's a ride at Magic Kingdom. That's actually my favorite roller coaster in the whole wide world is Space Mountain. It is a pitch black roller coaster with just little stars. It makes you feel like you have been rocketed out to outer space. And it is an indoor roller coaster. So it actually is my favorite roller coaster in the world. Oh, and very good question from the chat is, can you visit other Disney resorts if you stay at one? Yes, you can visit other, so you can kind of do resort hopping and get to experience all of the different resorts while staying at a resort. You can use different methods to get to the different resorts. You can also do dining at different resorts. Yes, so the All-Stars, if you look for Disney's All-Stars, regardless if it's the sports or not, those are the most cost-effective Disney resorts. And again, you still get really good theming. So there's Disney's All-Star Movies. That's kind of very similar to Art of Animation. It just doesn't have the Skyliner, and it's much more smaller scale. But at Disney's All-Star Movies, you have the Toy Story theme, you have 101 Dalmatians, and you have Hermie and Fantasmic. So Disney's Fantasia is the movie, I believe. And so they have those themes where you have Mickey Mouse, so you still feel like you're at the park. And again, that is the most cost-effective resort. We're just looking at All-Star Sports, just because you stayed there the most, actually. So there's the Canada residence. You also can save on packages, which would probably include the room and theme park tickets. Makes sense. So they have preferred room and the standard room here at the All-Stars. And yes, so you can visit other resorts. And the good thing about visiting other resorts on your stay is you can kind of shop around and see like, oh, I'm staying at the All-Star Sports, but I really want to see what Art of Animation is like, for example. If they're only connected by buses, what you would have to do is you would have to bus to Disney Springs, and then you would have to take the bus from Disney Springs to any of the resorts. So if you're at Disney Springs, which is the entertainment complex of Walt Disney World, you can travel to the other resorts. So for example, if you're actually staying at those Disney hotels that we saw at Expedia, you could just walk on over to Disney Springs. It's about a 5 to 10 minute walk to Disney Springs and take one of the buses to the resorts, and you actually can still dine there. So it's kind of cool. I want to go up, sorry again for the motion if anybody is motion sickness. So going to the top, let me put Walt Disney World and see if it does come up. Walt Disney World Resort. And let me change the dates here. Let's just change it to when Canadian Vasily wants to go to Mexico. Let's just change it for that time just to compare. Oh, and the food. So again, the food at the hotels, again, you're looking at your typical hotel food where you just have kind of the continental breakfast sometimes, or again, like sometimes they have a built-in restaurant where you can dine in and it's open only at a certain time. Whereas the resorts, you have the food court open, I believe from, I want to say it's at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. That it opens all the way until 11, and you get their food courts, which offers a wide variety of different foods. Or again, then you can go to any of the restaurants at Walt Disney World Resorts or at Disney Springs, and you can dine there. And also actually a tip and trick while we are talking about food, what a lot of people don't know is that you can get your groceries delivered directly to your resort. So you can I recommend using Instacart. While you're in Walt Disney World, Publix is a very known grocery store there, and you can have your groceries delivered. There is a wide variety of different, delivery services there. I just personally have very good experience with Instacart and using Publix. And again, they deliver it to your resort. Try to make sure that you're there to meet your driver to get it. So that's kind of just another tip also to get your food from them. But you can have it. They allow it. You don't have to charge. There's no extra. Amazon also delivers to your resort. Amazon, though, it does charge extra. I believe it's $6 to $9 for it to be delivered there. But groceries, Uber Eats, Instacart, any of those delivery services that deliver your groceries, they do not charge extra. You just have to meet your delivery person in the lobby and you can get it. That's the same thing also with the hotels, as you can also have it delivered directly to your hotel lobby and you pick it up from there. The only thing that I would take into consideration is the room that you're staying in, the size of your fridge. Just be mindful of that. The suites that you're staying in do have a larger fridge, so it can accommodate a lot more food items inside. So that's kind of to keep in mind there. So now I put into Expedia Walt Disney World to see if it kind of made a difference. It's actually still showing Universal. So look, we found Disney Wilderness Lodge. So that is a resort. That is not a hotel. So we did see sometimes you can still find them. So this would be the flight and the stay together, which would be $2,000 a person. That is very expensive. Disney Wilderness Lodge in general, though, is very expensive. But so I would compare with Disney, I would compare prices especially when you are booking, because you want to find the cheapest option, the most cost effective. So for example, if you did want to stay at Disney Wilderness Lodge, you would compare this price to booking the resort separately to the flight separately and kind of compare the prices there. So we found Disney Wilderness Lodge, and we found Walt Disney World Swan Reserve, which is also a resort slash hotel. It's kind of more hotel-y, but... And again here, so there we go. Here's Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista. That's the hotel that we were looking at previously. We have stayed here before. So this is the regular price usually. It's about $677 a person. And then altogether, you're looking at about $1,400 for two people to go to the Wyndham Garden, which again is a hotel, not a resort. But again, it is located right next to Disney Springs. This is one of the closest actually hotels located to Disney Springs. I believe it's a 2-minute walk away, if I remember correctly. It's right across the street. Let me see if I can pull up the map. Hey, there it is. So see, so here is, oh yes, we can get to Cancun, Randy, for sure. So this is where the Wyndham is located, and then this is where Disney Springs is. So it's literally right across the street. Any questions about Cancun? I know Canadian Vasily was looking to go to. Randy, are you looking to go? We can compare some prices there and see. Is there only Disney in the United States? No, there's not only Disney in the United States. There is Disney in Hong Kong. There is Disney in Tokyo. There is Disney in Paris. So there's many different Disneys actually around the world. It'll be a dream to go to Disney Paris. That I don't know, unfortunately, too much about because I've never been there. But... so yeah, so that is kind of our tips and tricks. I know, see a lot of information just comparing that, of comparing prices, for, but again, back to Skyscanner. Skyscanner can be used for to go anywhere in the world. This is not just Walt Disney World or anywhere. So again, back to Mexico. So see, we can compare prices. For example, I'm going to Mexico. So that's what we recommend, is especially with the price, kind of the price hopping a little bit. So see, so again, so back to Skyscanner, you can put anywhere in the world. So to Mexico, let's just say, and again, you do want to look at the blue circles to look at kind of the cheapest price there. I know Canadian Vasily was saying he wanted to compare the prices. So right now, see like the 7th, he was looking at the 13th. So maybe again, if you can accommodate, right now 17th isn't actually showing anything at all. Oh, good question. So for getting to the chat is asking how to get to the airport to your resort or hotel. So how we would do that was we would go to Mears Transport. I recommend Mears Transport for Disney. Let's see if I can go there. Mears Connect, let's just say. There's actually a lot of accessible bathrooms at Walt Disney World and at the airport. Welcome in, Liam. Thank you so much for being here. That is a good question. But yes, they're very well known for being very diverse and meeting a lot of different needs across the world. So that's pretty good. Mears Connect. So this is what I do recommend of going from using the shuttle service from Orlando to Disney, is Mears Connect. That's a good question. Great for families. Oh, good. Yes, and there's a lot of family bathrooms as well there too. But great question, Liam. Thanks so much for being here. Mears Connect is what I would recommend from going to the airport to Walt Disney World, Disney Springs, and the area. So this actually includes the hotels. I actually don't know if I knew that until now. One-way pricing, children under 3 are free. $13 for ages 3 to 9 and $16 for ages 10 and up. So there's a standard service and then there's Express. So the Express is actually still shared, but it's minimal weight And then there's direct round trip service to all Disney resorts. And then, but the standard is the most cost effective. That's that price, the $13 and $16. So let's see if it does include the hotels, because now I'm pretty curious. These are all the resorts. Yes, it does. So the Mears includes the hotels. I'm not sure if I knew that until now. So these are all the resorts. So there's resort, lodge, yacht club. So DoubleTree's by Hilton. Canadian Vasily said that he liked the Hilton. So the Mears actually drops you off at the hotels as well. Jury Plaza. Why I do recommend, oh, not even the Gaylord Springs, Hilton Orlando. Well, a lot of them. Holiday Inn. Interesting. So again, a pretty good price. So let's just say, let's go to Holiday Inn. And then also you can pick up from a different location. So pretend you ended at Animal Kingdom, you can do there. So let's just say 2 adults. I think I had to put this information in the arrival line, so it won't say. What other things like Disney Springs are there to do in the area? Disney Springs looks amazing. That's so funny. Yes, so Disney Springs, we do recommend going to Disney Springs. There is a lot to do there. A lot to do with Disney Springs. Great question, chat. They have even performances there, nightly performances actually, of different types of artists, different genres of music. They have 3 different stages of different types of music. They even have, especially on Saturdays to Sundays, they have different things. Like we talked to actually this strolling Christmas tree, which was super cool. Talking Christmas tree. There's a strolling piano that goes around, and they have a whole bunch of different restaurants. They even have a bowling alley actually there as well. A lot of different shopping experiences, different little sweets and treats. Session timeout. But we do definitely recommend Disney Springs. And especially again, if you just want to go to Disney, actually, and not even go to the parks and be very cost effective, you can go there and they even have a train ride for the littles. They have a Ferris wheel. That's where you'll find Rainforest Cafe and T-Rex Cafe. So T-Rex is like the dinosaur version of Rainforest Cafe for the littles. They have different shops. They even have Sephora there. So just in case they have Zara, just in case you need to do some actual shopping. So pretty cool. So yeah, so Mears, this is a great question, chat, of how you would travel. Uber, also you can get from the airport. It is a little bit more expensive. It's less expensive though than the Express, but it's not 13 to 16. From the Orlando to any of the resorts. That's the only thing. And you obviously, if you were traveling with littles, you would have to get the Uber XL there, even the Uber car seat. Oh, that's actually, again, a very, very good question, chat. Thank you so much. So actually checking the weather to Orlando, I actually check AccuWeather for Orlando always, and it's been my best friend. It has never actually let me down of how accurate the weather is. This is what I always use, actually, even more than the Weather Network. And they actually tell you a month in advance what the weather is going to be. It is a little bit chillier there in Orlando right now. Definitely better than Toronto, I will say that. But it's a little bit warmer than here. So right now in Orlando, it is 18, real feel 17. Not bad. But yes, you can check for the month actually here. So I always do that monthly. We don't need you right now, little ad, sorry. Okay, so it'll go you monthly, and it's actually pretty cool and pretty accurate. And it does give it in Canadian temperatures. I know other places around the world use Fahrenheit, but we use Celsius, so don't have to do any math. Oh no, thank you for joining in and asking such great questions. So yeah, I always use AccuWeather actually for Orlando to check the weather. It has never let me down. It is quite accurate. So see again this week. This week it's supposed to be actually a little bit chillier there again. 19, 17, and 14. That's pretty low for Orlando. 18. But it'll be back to happier temperatures, 20, 21, 24. But again, a little bit cooler, even though like, oh, it's 20. A little bit cooler though than Orlando. Orlando's temperatures are usually about 25 and above, nice and hot there. But if you're looking for cooler weathers, now in February is the time I would say to go. So between November to February is the cooler temperatures in Orlando. It is like they have two. I always say they have two seasons there, summer and not summer. That's their not summer time, is those times. Look, you can actually even see further weather ahead. Wow, let's see if it will give me all the way until April. We're exploring this together, chat, because I've actually never checked that far ahead. Wow, it actually is giving all the way to April. That's amazing. So it actually goes all the way until the April 12th. That is really cool. And it gives you like the suggested temperatures usually in April there. So right now it's saying April 13th, the average is usually 28 degrees. But right now it's predicting all the way until mid-April. That's pretty cool. So a very useful tool if you are traveling to Orlando from Toronto is checking AccuWeather. That's where I find, again, it has always been quite spot on of even like if it's going to rain, it's pretty good at predicting that. But thank you so much for asking all of these questions. We're always here to answer any questions. We want to do a live stream also like this of question and answer about us and a question and answer about Toronto events, because a lot of people always ask like, what are some good things to do in Toronto in the winter time? I myself kind of struggle with that a little bit, especially with littles, of like what to do in Toronto or free things to do in Toronto. So we would love to do a question and answer all about based on Toronto events and Toronto things. That's kind of what we cover mostly on our channel, is Toronto and Canadian events. Super cool things to do that you might not even know exists, like Little Canada. Again, we did put out that video yesterday of a walkthrough of Little Canada. And we're going to have another video on it tomorrow, actually finding, it's a cool kind of game type of video where we ask you to find secret things hidden in Little Canada. They have all these little Easter eggs. They even have the Grinch hidden in Little Canada, played by Canada's own Jim Carrey. So, yep, that's true, Randy. I was like, you know what? People have been asking me for so long. So I'm like, let me just do the live stream. So I think our next live stream will be based on Toronto and all things Canada, things that we recommend to do in Canada. I think that would be pretty cool. We're going to be live this week, as usual. We're going to do a live walk and be your tour guides around Toronto. That's where we're well known for sure. Yes, and there's a new Universal theme park. There's so much information to go around. So yeah, so Universal opens Epic Universe. We have never been to Epic Universe yet. But we've seen some videos and it looks pretty cool. So Toronto has Little Canada that we went to. So it is a little miniature city or miniature country, I should say, featuring different cities and all the different provinces. The details are really, really cool. They even have a whole Sick Kids. They have the CN Tower. They have the Blue Jays, like a mini Blue Jays game. Of course, hockey. They have the moose. The little moose hidden around Little Canada. So we have a really cool video of finding the different things. So we kind of show the scene and we ask you to find, for example, like, can you find a moose? Yes, that is very true, Randy. Unfortunately. Very sad. So hopefully you can check out our video tomorrow that will be posted of the Little Canada again. So yesterday was a walkthrough of it, and then tomorrow is Little Canada, little kind of Easter eggs, like can you find them? A cool little fun interactive game we thought was cool. But we really appreciate you all being here. I know it might not be everyone's cup of tea of Disney, but we've had some great family memories growing up, going to Disney World. Happy memories in my childhood. So I thought that would be kind of cool to answer people's questions. But again, our next live stream will be based on different things you can do in Canada. And a free way to support our channel is just by bopping that like button and subscribing. And before we finish, we have reached 3,000 subscribers. So we cannot thank you enough from the bottom of our heart for being part of our family, for being part of all our adventures. We really, really appreciate it from the bottom of our heart. We cannot thank you for making and helping our dreams come true. So thank you so much for being a part of it. It means so, so much to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a huge special thank you to our channel members, Kate Wilby, Canadian Vasily, Randy Ruck, Little Stormtrooper, Bell GC, Daniel Bell, Nicole, and TC. We really appreciate you being a special part of our family. But a free way to be part of our family is just by subscribing and popping that like button. And let us know in our comments if you have any other tips and tricks of traveling. Let us know, or if we missed something about booking maybe a hotel or cool flights around the world. Let us know. Oh, thank you, Belle, for your kind words. We really, really appreciate it. And everybody who asked questions or who chatted, thank you so much. And again, we will be live again this week as we be your personal tour guides around the streets of Toronto. Remember, all you need is faith, trust, and a little bit of family. We will see you all real soon.